All right, we're trying this video for a second time since yesterday Jane told me that the video didn't have audio. So we'll try it again. All right, we're going to open up Schoology. You're going to go into week 7 and you'll open up the Wednesday folder and look for Deceptive Data Part 5. You'll need to open up the attachments, and there's the pie graph. Remember, we want to open that in Keynote, so we'll tap it and then use this button up here in the top right corner to open in Keynote. Some of you are having to save to file, some of you just have Keynote. I use the copy to Keynote, that's the one that works for me. All right, here you go. So remember, oops, didn't want to do that. We want to start by naming your file. So tap the name of the file, tap rename, add your name to the front so that I can see whose file I'm looking at. First and last name, and then your class period, if you would mind. All right, so do that. I already have done this a couple times, so let's make this be B2. Okay. Then you'll need to click on your edit button so that you can edit. All right, and adding a pie graph is super simple. It's very similar to adding a line graph and a bar graph. You're probably getting pretty good at this by now. Here's your task. You're going to create a pie graph using the data in this chart, and we're looking at favorite movie genres. There's comedy, action, romance, drama, and sci-fi. So 5 categories, 5 wedges to our pie. If you remember how to add a chart, go ahead and do that now. If you don't remember, click on the plus and then choose the graph or chart function. We are going to stick to 2D, and you can choose either the pie graph or the donut. I personally prefer the pie graph. They work the same. And I am going to have to do some rearranging on my screen here to make this fit a little better. So let me do that real quick. Sorry. This is just touchy-feely. Okay. So here is what I've got. Let's look at the requirements for the assignment. It says add a title, a legend, leader lines, and labels. Well, it already comes with some labels, so that's done for me. I need to add the title, the legend, the leader lines, and this data. I like to start with the data, so let's do that. If you remember how to get into your data and add it, go ahead and do that now. If you don't remember, make sure your graph is turned on, the little blue dots are showing, and then tap it again to bring up the black pop-up menu and choose Edit Data. All right, so the wedges are going to be represented by the columns, and so we're going to put in our category here. So we had, gosh, I don't remember now. What were the categories? Comedy, action, romance, drama, and sci-fi. So comedy, action, romance, drama, and sci-fi. Okay. I have an extra column, so we'll click up here on the gray rectangle just at the top to select the whole column, tap a second time to delete. And then you need to add your data here, and it's not a region, these are movie genres, so I'm going to change that to be movie genres. And then let's go back and check. Comedy is 4, action is 5. Comedy is 4, action is 5, romance was 6, 1, and 4. I think that's correct. 4, 5, 6, 1, 4. Yep. Okay. By adding that in, the software automatically calculates the percentage, but we need to do these things. And if you'll remember, adding the title, the legend, the leader line, that's all kind of stylistic choices. So that's not data, that's formatting. So select your graph and get into your formatting menu. If you don't remember how, make sure your graph is turned on and tap the paintbrush. So the title and the legend are both having to do with the chart. So we'll go into the chart menu, and down here we have title, caption, legend. You don't have to have a caption, but you can turn that on if you want. Make sure you toggle for sure the title and the legend. And notice that once you turn on the title, you can edit it and change the font. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make my font a little bit smaller, and I'm going to make it a colorful font. So I'll make mine be this light blue, and I want it to be Futura. Let's do Futura and bold. Okay, so I'll do that. If I get out of the format menu, I can see my title and I can see this hot mess that is the legend. I need to do some rearranging. So as always, to mess with the graph, you first tap it to turn on it, on the little blue dots, and then you'll notice that there are tiny little green dots. I don't know if you can see them, but if you zoom in, you can see these little green dots that turn on when I tap on the graph for the there they are, for the legend. So if I tap and drag, I can resize, and then if I tap and hold, I can pick up the whole thing and move it. So I'm gonna stack them like this and put them next to my graph. The next thing I'm going to do is actually name my graph. So this is favorite movie genres. It's not title. So I'll zoom in, double tap, and change that to favorite movie titles or genres. Favorite movie genre. Okay, excuse me. So that's done. We can say check, we've got the title, check, we've got the legend. Now we need leader lines. And if you don't know what those are, that's where you would say maybe put the number on the outside of the pie and draw a line pointing. So sometimes if your little wedges are too skinny, you can't put the number inside. So let's learn how to do that. It's a formatting thing. So turn on your graph, tap on the format, and we're going to go into the style. So here's style. I can change the size of my labels. So let's say I want to change it to make them smaller. And then I also want to change the position. So where do the labels, where are they located? So instead of having them be inside the graph, let's make them be outside the graph. And now it offers me these choices about leader lines. I could say none, but I do want some leader lines. And I have a choice between straight, which just is a line, or angled, and I kind of like that one better. So I'm going to choose angled. Okay. The last thing that I want to do is change the color of my pie wedges. So in the library, I have stickers on the books that go with the genre of the book, and I want the wedges on my pie to match the colors of my stickers. And so to do that, I'm going to go into the edit series, and there's two ways to do that. You can either tap the graph and get to that black pop-up menu and choose edit series, or you can tap on the format and go to chart and edit series. So I could just pick one of these, but that's too many greens, right? I want them to be more distinct. So I'm going to go to edit series, and now I can choose what color I want. So comedy in the library is yellow, so I'm going to make that be yellow. And action is kind of like a teal color in the library. And romance, I don't have a romance section, but if I did, it would totally be pink. And drama is realistic fiction, and I make that be blue. And science fiction, I have purple in the library, so I think that's good. I'm going to change this a little bit here because that's the wrong color blue. There. All right. So there you have it. Now my graph is exactly how I want it. Make sure you get your graph taken care of and then turn it in Remember, we click on this button, and it works best if you export it as a PDF. If that doesn't work, you could just share it as a Keynote. The way you do that is you click the share button in the More menu, and then you can copy it. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work, you can always email it to me.